But isn't it interesting that our roles are often defined by other people?
And that's what I was thinking.
Now, if they are defined by other people, they're not actually our roles. Well, are they? They can't be. So the trick there, and so in that moment we were going against our own conscience. We're going against our own integrity. We cannot be congruent with ourselves in that moment. And therein lies the conflict. This is why when we've spoken about guilt and all those things before, which we're not going to spend hours talking about guilt. But the reality is that if someone else has defined a role for you and you're not in agreement with it, it's not your role. So, interesting. Thank you for that, Kate. Really important.
So you're talking about the intent of the role that you've chosen to take.
You see, the problem is that most of the time we are not conscious of our roles. The reality is that if we take them and put them in separate boxes, now we can cope a lot better. And some of those roles we don't necessarily agree with, but we're doing them anyway. So, for example, think of a role that I don't particularly agree with. Doing the ironing. I don't agree with that role, so I won't do it. My wife also doesn't agree with that role, so she won't do it. Occasionally she will. I go, whoa, what's happening here? Because I'm surprised she's doing something that is not her chosen role. So we get somebody else to do the role.
The little ironing band that pulled up when I pulled up.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I knew there was a reason why they were there.
Yeah. So, the thing is that then it works. Now, I'm not doing that role. Yes, I may have to pay for it. But the reality is either agree the role
or do something about it.
Or do something about it.
I just stick the ironing board in front of the telly with a DVD box set.
Yeah, and it's fine to it's fine to do the ironing, but you've got to get to agree to it.
Yeah.
Because while we're sitting there going, we're definitely going to burn some stuff. And then when we give the ironing to whoever it is that we've done it for, here, have your ironing.
But don't you think sometimes it's not just also conflict like that? I like ironing,
Yep.
I like cleaning, I like doing it all, but I just physically cannot do it all. But I actually do like doing it all.
That's fine.
So sometimes it's not the fact you don't like doing something, it's just the fact that you cannot physically do everything.
And then you've got to resolve that too. And go, you know what, I like this, it's fine, but I need some help. Because there are only 24 hours in a day.
So then it goes to levels of importance.
Absolutely, and it comes back to what you were talking about in the car.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we can choose, well, is it really important that I do the hoovering this week? Must I do it this week?
Sure.
Maybe not. A bit of dust, who cares?
It could be that
Rather than
too.
getting stressed.
Yeah. Yes, and getting stressed might be the neat freak role. I know Natalie does neat freak really well. No, but do you know what I'm saying? So, and you go into you fit into that role because what will my mother think, or what will the partner think, or what will my children or their friends, or
We have to learn not to care what other people think.
possibly.
Yeah.
Because while we're busy wondering what everybody else thinks, we're trying to fit ourselves into these different roles that we don't actually fit into. Yours is interesting, Natalie, in as much that there's certain things you like to do, you actually don't have enough time. And the reality there is, well, then don't do all of them. And it's a basic reality, rather than try and be superhuman. Because otherwise you'll have a situation where you're always stressed. You have to do that.
I think if we worry about what other people think, we cannot be congruent.
We absolutely can't, yeah.
We can't.
No.
But that's a very hard thing to get out
It's a
of.
very hard, we're going to get there.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
very hard, it's very tricky to do that.
I mean, from the day you're born, there has always been somebody telling you how it should be done.
So,
It's easier when you get older.
basically, here's the deal. The conscious is the doing, and we do a lot of doing in our lives, a lot of what I call maintenance, mundane maintenance stuff. The subconscious is the being. And what we need to do to get more congruent with ourselves is ask the being what it is that I, the being, want. What do I want? Do I want to be mother? Do I want to be pioneer? What do I actually want? And the problem that we face is that when we start asking, we get the top line questions. So, as a pioneer, what do I want? Well, I want a flash car. Pioneers don't really want flash cars necessarily. Yeah? Maybe what they need is creative time. But you wouldn't get that answer unless you sat and said, well, what do I really need? What do I want? What do I want as this role? And then what happens? You'll always start off getting the top line doing type answers. Oh yeah, a new car, a new house, a bigger this, a big more that, whatever. And often it's materialistic. But after that, you start getting in touch with what the being really requires to do this role. And most of it is not actual physical stuff. Stuart, you're giving me a big frown.
Well, no, it's what you were saying a minute ago about the consciousness doing the day-to-day maintenance stuff. If you're not doing that, is that the subconscious blocking it for some reason?
If you're not doing this,
Yeah.
doing the doing,
Yeah.
hey, maybe you just don't feel like it. Where would that come from? Possibly here. Maybe you're just too tired. Maybe you're just not interested in doing that doing, whatever that doing is. It's like, I can't be bothered. Okay, there's far more important things to be doing, or being involved in. It's good to ask the question. You know, so what do I want in this role? What do I want?
What if not doing the doing causes you more stress anyway?
Well, then we're not in line with ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not. You know, we've got these two aspects. One aspect wants to go and watch DVDs. The other one wants to go and fix the house up. And watching DVDs will cause stress over here. Actually, best because now we're not in line with each other. They both want you to be happy. Watching DVDs will make you happy, but actually this will make you more happy when you go and do this. Or maybe you do a little bit of this and a little bit of this. So, yeah. Okay. Really important question. What do I, the being, want for me? You need to be continuously asking that question. And the more earnest we are about it, the more answers we will get. You've all had this experience where you've met someone, you've forgotten their name, and you've gone, oh, what's their name, what's their name, what's their name? And 3 days later, it pops up. Keep asking the question, what do I, the being, want? And you'll be amazed what answers pop up. Don't just accept the first answer that you give yourself. Because we will. We'll give ourselves all sorts of answers. All sorts of nonsense even. Yeah. So I'm going to stop there. Cup of tea, juice, whatever it is that you like.